Hello everyone, my name is Cherie, and if you're new to my channel, you are so welcome. Today I wanted to talk a little bit more about this Federal 990 sewing machine. I have a video about the restoration of the machine here on my channel, and if you haven't already seen that video, I suggest that you go and check that out. The reason why I wanted to talk to you about this Federal 990 sewing machine is because it does not fit the stereotype of what most people would assume about one. So most vintage sewing machine collectors want a machine that was produced before 1960 because they assume that all of these machines had all metal internal parts, but that's absolutely not true because this Federal 990 sewing machine has a Bakelite cam stack in it. Also, the metal parts that are on the inside of the machine are not the best quality of metal, and even some of the parts have broken off. The metal, if you see what I'm showing you there, is very not smooth. I don't have any other way to say it. It's just not smooth. It's very bumpy, and you can tell that it was not cast to an excellent quality. Whereas when you go and you look at a machine that was name brand, like this Kenmore sewing machine that I'm showing you, all of the internal parts are incredibly smooth, and they even have a black finish on them to prevent corrosion. And you can tell that it was just built to a much better quality than the Federal sewing machine. So why do I bring all of this up? I bring all of this up because not all vintage sewing machines are created equal. They're all different, and you're going to find some machines out there in the wild that were made before 1960 that are not all metal. So that's just the very brief thing that I wanted to talk to you about today, and I won't tarry too long. But the other thing that I would like to mention is about the motors on these machines. So this Federal sewing machine has a 1.5 amp motor, and it is belt driven. And over the years, I have learned that I am not the largest fan of the belt driven machine when it comes to doing larger projects or sewing on thicker materials. You get much more punching power when you're working with a direct drive sewing machine than with a belt driven one, because on a belt driven machine the power transfers from the motor to the belt and then to the needle, so you lose some energy in the transference of the energy from the motor to the needle, because there is an exchange that has to happen in order for that energy from the motor to reach the needle. Whereas on a direct drive sewing machine, there's no belt, and there's a series of gears in the inside of the machine that allow the energy from the motor to transfer direct to the needle, and you get much more punching power with that than with a single belt driven machine. And I've also found over the years that a machine with dual belts or more than one belt is also a lot better and has more piercing power than a single belt driven machine. And one of the reasons why I love my Kenmore 1941-2 so much is because it does have two belts in the inside, and these are some of the insider things that I wish I had known before I started diving into the world of vintage sewing machines. It's a little late at night, but I just now realized that I didn't fully explain to you all what it means by piercing power on the sewing machine. So you are looking at my Bernina 1010, and I'm doing a little bit of late night sewing. And for jeans, I only have the tension on the machine set to a 5, and if I'm sewing through multiple layers of jean material, like maybe 3 layers, then I will set it to 6. But this machine goes all the way up to 10 tension, but I've never had to use it on this particular model because it has 3 belts on it. Whereas on that Federal sewing machine, it has a more powerful motor than this Bernina has with a 1.5 amp motor. However, the Federal sewing machine only has one belt on it, so it doesn't have as much piercing power. So that means for the same pair of jeans, I have to turn the tension all the way up to 9 in order to get it to sew through 4 layers of denim. Whereas if I were to just be using this machine right here, I would only have to have my tension set at 5. And I also have a Singer 404 that I favor a lot, and that machine doesn't have any belts at all. Instead, it has a gear at the top, and I'll try to leave an image of that somewhere in here. But because it is a gear driven machine, it also has a lot more piercing power, and I'm able to leave that tension on 4 pretty much all of the time, regardless of what I'm sewing through. I have to be sewing through like several layers of denim before I need to change that tension and make it like a 7 or something like that. But that's what I mean by piercing power. Well, guys, this is my video for today, and I hope that you enjoy my little chit chat about vintage machines, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to receive more sewing related content. Peace.